It's also my gimmick, those tight shirts, and how many buttons can I get away with going there unbuttoned?
That's only 3.
This is conservative. Today,
and I appreciate that.
Okay.
I was totally expecting you to walk in with a thermos. I gotta be honest, you disappointed me a little bit.
Yeah, I made the switch to iced coffee.
It's still Starbucks, though.
Yeah, it is. They still have not paid me or cut a check, but
What was in the thermos all those years?
It honestly was coffee.
Oh, really?
It was coffee, yes. And it wasn't always black coffee. Like, I would put sweetener and stuff in it, but, low-cal. But, coffee, it keeps you lean. And it's an appetite suppressant, so there's many health benefits to this.
But caffeine, then you could get addicted to it, and that could be a bad thing, though.
Yeah, that's true. I think that happened to me in law school anyway, so it's kind of a lawyer thing. Actually, and that's why I drink Starbucks. When I worked at the law firm, they had a Starbucks machine, and it was right outside my office.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go to the bathroom or go to a meeting or anywhere without passing it in. All right, I might as well fill up.
When I saw the poster for Madea Family Funeral, I went, that's David Otunga. And then I went,
I love it.
What are you doing on that poster?
And the funny thing is, I don't know what I'm doing on that poster. Like, everybody asks me that. My son keeps asking me, and he's like, well, what is this? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, you know what? It has nothing to do with the film.
No.
That part, like when I have my shirt off and I'm waving it around over my head, like clearly I was at a bachelor party or something. This is not in the film. It was just, hey, things got a little crazy at the photo shoot, and I can't say anymore, but that's what happened.
Where did things begin at the photo shoot that it ended with you?
Things began at the photo shoot where I had a suit and a tie on, like, I was at a funeral, and, they gave me coffee.
Oh,
that's what it was. It wasn't black, but there was sugar in it. Oh. And, who knows what else? Things got crazy. My shirt came off.
It all went downhill from there.
It did. But it made for a great image.
So I have to admit, when Tyler Perry said that this was the last Madea film and it was called A Family Funeral, I just assumed that this was going to be the end of his character. I thought you'd be going to the funeral for Madea.
Many people think that. This is like exclusive. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this.
Oh.
I'm a lawyer, so I'll figure my way out.
Okay, good.
But Madea actually doesn't die. It's not her funeral.
Oh, we know that.
Oh, man.
Don't we?
I don't know.
I know, you're the lawyer here.
Oh, I didn't think anybody knew that.
Oh, okay. No, we know that. Tyler said that. We're good.
All right. Well, okay, fine. Yes, but Madea. See, now you steal my thunder. I thought I had something.
Okay,
I was sharing something with you. Madea
here.
Doesn't die, but she basically plans this funeral, and it's crazy.
How did you get involved with this?
I did one of Tyler's shows, The Haves and the Have-Nots, a few years ago, and he really liked my work. And when they were casting this, I got a call, and he offered me the role, which was pretty crazy. Like, you get a call out of the blue, and it was one of his producers. And I'm like, wait, are you serious? Yes, Tyler has a new movie, new Madea movie, and he would like you to be lead role in it. I was like, what? Wow, okay. Yeah, and we need you to get on a plane tomorrow.
Wow.
Done. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Tyler Perry's so known for working really, really fast.
Extremely fast and efficient. Like, that was one of the coolest things, was just watching him work. Like, he plays, four different characters in this film.
Sometimes in the same scene.
That's what I was going to say. They interact with each other. Yeah. Now, that was the amazing thing, because I remember there was a scene, it's not even a long scene in the movie, it's maybe 60 seconds or whatever, but all four characters were interacting. We shot it all day, and to watch him play this character responding to the others, and switch and sit here and play that character responding to them, and everybody, and it was in sync. And he's also the writer, the director, he does everything.
Yeah,
but watching this, this is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Like how, Prince, was a genius recording artist, and he could literally do everything. That's kind of like how Tyler is with film. It was just fascinating to me.
But you come from a world where stuff moves pretty fast in WWE.
Yeah.
You go from town to town to town every single week.
You do.
Is there any sort of overlap there?
There is. and I always say this, like WWE prepared me for just entertainment in general, in life really, with being able to just improvise and adapt and think on your feet, which also, being a lawyer goes hand in hand with that too. So you never know, you know what the plan is, but it's probably going to change. And if it changes, you have to just be like, okay, cool, and adapt with it seamlessly so people don't even realize it. So it's a giant help for acting and film. And it also was great because then, say a character misses a line or they say something different, being able to react off of that and even improvise if they let you.
Didn't you guys film this in like 7 days?
It was something crazy fast like that, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
An amazing story. Okay, so I was doing commentary for SmackDown at the time. And so I was like, okay, I can go film this, but I need to be back on Tuesdays, right? So we go and I film Monday, whatever it is that week. I go and I do SmackDown, and wherever it was, I couldn't get a flight that would get me there on time, so I took a car service all night. Tyler Perry paid for a limo to pick me up and drove me. We were in like Indianapolis, and drove me all night to Atlanta. Get out of the car and literally step out and go straight to set.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing. So I had like some really big scenes. This was the following week. I had some really big scenes that they were saving. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to memorize those yet because I want to learn these other scenes first. We're filming one day and we're ahead of schedule. Tyler looks at me and he goes, you got to go back to SmackDown tomorrow, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to move up some of your scenes from later in the week. We're going to do them today since we're ahead of schedule. And I'm panicking. I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't looked at these yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. And these are like big scenes. And so I'm like, okay. I go back into my dressing room at lunch. I look at them. And I don't know how, but I memorized these things, like pages and pages of script.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's, the years of studying, sitting over books, law school or what, but I was able to retain it and then went out and nailed it.
Wow.
Never missed a word. Yeah, got it. But it was one of those things with just being in the moment. And also, with WWE, that happens a lot. Like, they'll hand you a promo. You going out for your match, you get your promo? What promo? This promo. Sure, yeah, okay, thanks.
I love in the credits for this movie how Tyler Perry's making fun of you, how you're holding the luggage.
Is that in there?
Oh, it's in there. He's like, stop flexing. There's like several cuts of you, like you're carrying luggage out into the living room and you're clearly...
I'm glad he's got that. No, I remember that so well, and that was real. Like, I wasn't trying to do that. No, I don't know if that's just a habit or what. Like, if I hold anything like this, I immediately think adult raises, adult raises. And so then, like, even when I was not supposed to hold it like that, I still was, and I didn't even notice it.
It's funny because he's dressed as Madea, but talking as Tyler.
Yeah.
It's so funny
I think he had to tell me like 3 different times, and I didn't think I was doing it anymore. He's like, hey, you're still flexing the bags. Oh, sorry.
So as we sit here right now, are you still technically under contract with WWE?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We don't see you that often.
Well, I only do the important stuff.
Fair enough.
I do the kickoff shows for pay-per-view events.
Right.
And then commentating here and there when they need me, and yeah.
So when we look at like the transition you had from in-ring to being a commentator, whose decision was that?
Well, it was multiple. It was mine and then Michael Cole's. So I transitioned from in-ring and then started picking up more films and whatnot, and also raising my son. And then I started doing stuff at the studio for the network.
Yeah.
And one day Michael Cole called me and asked me if I wanted to become a commentator. I was like, wow, I never thought about that. All right, give it a shot. And it's awesome, although extremely challenging. Like, you think you're just out there just, saying whatever and having a fun time, like with your buddies. No, you're actually like telling the stories. Like, so much goes into that.
Yeah.
It makes me have so much respect for Michael Cole. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually understand what he's doing and how good he is and setting up his partners and, just the traffic and the advertisements and the commercials and everything that's going on, and he has people in his ear, and he's doing all this at the same time, it's unbelievable.
Were you ready to say goodbye to your in-ring work when the commentary stuff started?
Not necessarily. I mean, I had some things going on in life that I had to kind of was forced into making that decision. So yeah, I mean, that was my love was in ring, but I have other things that I'm interested in as well, and so it. There was positive with it. It did allow me to focus on film, and now I'm here starring in this film with Tyler Perry, which is great. But then also being able to become a commentator, that is a lot easier on my body.
Sure.
And fun, and has a lot more longevity.
Are you okay with the last match that you had? I believe it was with R-Truth, right? Is that your last
house show with R-Truth?
Yeah, that was your last in-ring match, right?
Yeah, it was.
Like, do you want to go out and have one more, like, all right, that's it?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. Obviously, if there was like a cool storyline or a cool opportunity or something, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm cool with it though too.
Because your Wikipedia page says you're a retired pro wrestler, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would never say retired. I never specifically retired.
Yeah.
I'm just doing other things.
Right.
But I do a ton of things. So I mean, so then if I have another match, am I coming out of retirement?
This is the thing.
That's a very good question.
You tell me.
I don't know.
Since you never retired, I guess not.
Yeah, I guess no. I never retired. I'm just doing other things.
But there's lots of wrestlers that do other things. Brock Lesnar does other things. John Cena does other things. The Miz does other things.
I don't know who runs this Wikipedia, but I never retired. They've retired me now?
The people.
The people.
Yeah, the people run Wikipedia. And we want people power, don't we?
Well, we do.
Ooh.
We do.
Yeah.
Johnny Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
Yes, we want people power.
When you're sitting at the commentary booth or at the commentary table, who is in your ear?
It could be a number of people. Sometimes Vince himself. Or whoever is producing the show, generally. And so like what's coming up next, and yeah.
Like, me working in television, I understand what it's like to have producers in your ear saying, like, we have 30 seconds left, or throw to break, or do whatever.
Yep.
But is Vince actually feeding you guys lines?
Sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes. It's pretty cool. Like, he generally will just let you do your own thing, but sometimes, like, he'll give you an idea or, say something he wants you to say specifically once in a while. It's pretty cool.
I think a lot of people give Michael Cole a hard time, and I think Michael Cole is incredibly talented, like you were saying. And it's interesting to watch commentary now versus commentary, say, in the 90s.
Yeah.
Where they're just kind of calling whatever they're seeing in the ring and not telling that story and progressing things.
Right.
Did you have to go to some sort of, like, commentary school or something to start to build this up?
No, not per se, but it was doing, it was actually, we used to do a pre-show for Raw in the studio, and that was preparing us, and we didn't even know it. Corey Graves and I, like, we did this for about 2 years and just had a blast, and they were always telling us, make sure you tell the stories. I'm like, okay. And then when we started doing commentating, it made sense because, wow, that's pretty much the same thing we're doing. And you get it, but just actually in the ring, it's different. But if you put it like this, I never really thought about this before, but if you watch a match with the sound off, you won't really know what's going on, like storyline wise. And also, like, if you go to a live event, same thing, you miss the commentary. Like, it's awesome seeing it live, but there's that piece you're missing.
Yep. I feel like when you go see it in person, you're like, but why is that happening?
Right.
And you'd need to have it explained to you.
Right.
So with Vince being in your ear, is there ever like negative feedback as well? Or is that like, does that happen after the show?
I don't know. I've been fortunate enough where I never really had anything, negative feedback like that. So I can't speak for other people, but for me at least, no.
What about your coworkers, the fellow wrestlers? Like, are any of the superstars like? I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, man. Kevin Owens got real mad at me one time.
Legit mad?
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to remember the actual line, but I was making some witty comment, and I said something about the Battle of the Bulge, and I was like, and we're not talking about Kevin Owens' stomach or something like that, and. Which I think is pretty tame.
Sure. And it's way tamer than what Corey Graves says.
Well, yeah. Well, Owens was mad and coming at me on Twitter and stuff. And the thing of it is like Kevin Owens is actually one of my favorite characters, like legit, because he's so different, and like I love the fact that he is who he is, and he's different. And, yeah, his stomach hangs over. But I think that's awesome. And so, it was like, hey, man, we're on the same team. I don't know if you know this. You're a heel, right? Like, this is what we do. This is what we do.
Was he just working you on Twitter?
No, he was like shoot mad.
Oh, wow.
Like you'd see me backstage and wouldn't say anything. Wouldn't shake my hand or nothing. I'd be like, hey, what's up?
Oh,
I realized. I was like, no, he's shoot mad at me. Like,
man.
Yeah. I think we're cool now, I hope.
Where's the food better? On set of a Tyler Perry movie or backstage at WWE?
That's a hard one. It depends. Like if it's WrestleMania, SummerSlam, catering is great.
Okay.
Although, man, Tyler Perry Studios, it's pretty good. I could get whatever I wanted, and it's pretty healthy, and they would make it for me. Like, it was crazy. That's the thing is,
okay.
I'm used to being. I'm a down to earth guy. Like, I'll go get my own food. I don't need all that extra stuff. And I remember, it actually wasn't Tyler Perry Studios. It was another project I was doing. And I tried to go to craft services to get my food, and a production assistant wouldn't let me. No. You don't need to do that. You're one of the stars. We'll get that for you. It's like, no, I'm good. I can go get my own chicken breast. No. You tell me what you need. We'll get it for you. Chicken and broccoli. Okay, we'll get it. And I was like, man, this is crazy. And there was a time like I actually sat and ate with the crew, and it threw everybody off. You're not. This is the crew sits here.
Sure.
You can go take this to your dressing room. Why can't I sit with the crew? Like I don't. I just want to sit here and eat. These are people. We're just chatting. And I don't know. It's crazy.
When you look at your acting career, what are the goals that you have? Let's say for the next 5 or 10 years.
For the next 5 or 10 years, let's see. I want to get a role that's difficult, or meaning that people don't necessarily see me in. So I want to break my typecast and really show people what I can do. Get a role that's challenging and I can sink my teeth into and win an award or multiple awards.
Would this be a dramatic role then?
Could be.
Okay.
Could be dramatic, comedic, whatever. Just something that makes people say, "Wow, I didn't expect him to do that."
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, when you started getting into the acting side of it, did you ask your former tag team partner John Cena for any advice? He's having quite the career.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He was pretty good in Bumblebee. I saw that. He's doing well for himself. Yeah, he is. He's got a bunch of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, especially nowadays. Just the different projects that are coming out, and it's not necessarily a bad thing anymore to be a pro wrestler or WWE superstar. Because I remember for the longest, like when I first started, there was this stigma attached to that, and like you think that it would help you, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And people are like, he's just a wrestler, and wrestlers are notoriously bad actors. What? And little do people know, I was an actor before I got into wrestling. But because I, was then part of the WWE, they're like, man, we don't respect that. That's just he's that wrestler guy. Huh. And then also, like, the only roles I would get are, bouncer, security guard, police officer, fighter, whatever.
Well, let me ask you this. If that dramatic role that could win you an award meant you had to lose like 40 pounds of mass, would you do it?
I would. Now, okay, so let's rewind back. Like
you'd be David Otunga looking like me.
Like probably 3 or 4 years ago, somebody told me that, and it was somebody I really respected in the industry, and they were like, you're just too massive, like up top. You need to lose some size. And I was like, man, that's everything I've worked for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Now you tell me to go against that. So, I started actively trying to lose some size, and I did, and it was working, and I got more roles. I actually got this role. However, this had nothing to do with size, actually, and they kind of liked it that I was a bigger guy. So I'm like, man, I didn't even need to do all that. But anyway, I dropped like about 30 pounds, and I had to find a way to make it fun for myself. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a bodybuilding contest, but I'm going to do a physique contest where you just get really, really lean and ripped, and it's not about like muscle shape and size and all that. I was like, okay, it is, but it's not.
Sure.
So I was like, I want to do this. And then this guy, one of the judges, looked at me a few weeks out, and he's like, no, you need to do classic physique, whereas, it's a little bit more muscle and definition. You want to have some fullness to it. And I was like, wow, it sounds challenging. And there was only 4 weeks before the contest. I was like, I'll do it. And then I won, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then people started telling me, hey, you could go do this contest. Dude, you turn pro. Like, you can go compete at the Olympia. And I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. I never desired to do that, but it does sound pretty cool. I've always been a bodybuilding fan. So then now I'm like, you know what? I want to add some size back. So I'm like, because in my mind, like, seeing what I look like winning the contest, to me, I was like, man, that's not nearly my best. I don't think I look that good.
Wow.
I look flat, like whatever. And it's like, but in my mind, I'm like, man, you guys think that looks good. Let me actually get back to where I was and then do this properly. Then I'll show you something. So I started doing that, but then now, I want more roles, and so I don't want to get too big. And that's the thing, is like, it's the constant back and forth. What do I really want right now?
Yeah.
And so, I like the size I'm at, but I'll probably still scale back a little bit, and for now.
Do you have to run every role that you possibly or potentially get by WWE?
Yeah, I generally do. Yeah.
Like, do you have to run every audition by them too?
No.
Okay.
No.
So when you finally do get offered the role, you have to then say, okay, here's the deal. Is that okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on your contract too.
Okay.
Everybody's contract. So for me, yeah, definitely. And also, it's my personal brand and it's their brand.
Yeah.
And we respect each other. And so, like, I would never want to take a role or do something that could, put me in a bad light and in turn put the company in a bad light.
Yeah. Of course, you talk about being a lawyer was part of your gimmick as well. What kind of law did you practice?
So I worked at a huge law firm in Chicago, and I was a litigation attorney. So I like to be in the courtroom, like trial advocacy, actually having a trial. That's like my thing. That's what I love.
So, like, what kind of cases are these?
Well, I really like doing criminal law. We don't get a lot there. And I mostly did that like in law school, and then I worked in a public defender's office too. So that's kind of what I see myself as a criminal defense attorney, because I just like the creativity that goes into it. You take somebody who's done something or accused of a crime, they haven't necessarily done it, and you try to figure out a way, to get them out, to test the prosecutor is really what it is, because you're not getting the person out of it. You're poking holes in the prosecution's case. So it's really like, it's kind of like a game. It's a competition. You have to make the prosecutor prove their case.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you have all this evidence, but then I'm going to try to poke holes in it and, see what you can do then.
So, I mean, that's kind of like acting in itself.
It is.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. A trial is really just acting. And then you have like the jury, they are the critics and the people, and like, you want to persuade them to see your side, and you want them to like you better than the other actor.
Huh.
And frequently, they've done studies, on juries and stuff. They frequently will side with whichever lawyer they like the best.
Wow.
Or whoever gives the better performance. Yeah.
So, are you more of like a heel lawyer, or are you a babyface lawyer?
No, I'm a babyface lawyer. Babyface lawyer, but it's one of those things where I like to outsmart the other attorney, and then it's just being able to, smile, be very polite and kind, and when I'm questioning a witness, and the whole time they have no idea I'm undoing them while we talk, and they think I'm being really nice, and ask them all these questions. Oh, he really cares about me. He really cares what I did last night and whatever, and what I ate and how much I spent for this. Yeah, okay. Until wait for my closing argument. Yep, you've just sealed your fate. You have no idea. Oh, really? You used a credit card. Oh, great. Oh, excellent. You earned points for that? Yeah, great. And then it'll be in my closing argument.
Bringing it back around to wrestling and the fact that you got in with the Nexus, what do you think of what that has now evolved to become with NXT?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I mean, NXT right now is amazing. Like, I wish that I could have been part of that when I started. We started in FCW, which was awesome. It was great. But it left a lot to be desired.
What was an independent,
Well, yeah, but compared to what NXT is, just the Performance Center down there is unbelievable.
Yeah.
All the rings, the fitness equipment, and, the instruction. That's a big deal. And, the difference is, like, when I started, I was one of the few people who didn't have any experience. Like, on Independence, I came in and they had to teach me from scratch. And now, like, there's a lot of people who come in like that, and the instruction is great. So I mean, it's amazing to see what it's become. I think it's super freaking cool.
Well, I've been saying this for a while. I think it's a super exciting time to be a pro wrestling fan. Super exciting time to be a pro wrestler as well. What do you think's going about what's going on with AEW?
Man, I just want to say, I think Cody, that guy is fascinating to me. Like, I think you have to respect him and everything that he's done and he's doing. Like, he has a vision and he's actually like making this happen. Like, you hear people talk, yeah, man, we should start our own promotion, we should do this, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. You're not going to do it. Cody actually is doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's it's pretty admirable, man.
He's doing it, and he has the right people behind him to back this too.
Yeah, like he's serious about it. So I think it's pretty cool.
Like, I don't know if this is going to be direct competition with WWE, but the fact that they're going to be on TV at some point and giving us something else to watch, I think it's just exciting as a fan.
It is. I mean, there's so many people who want to get into sports entertainment, and it's another avenue.
Do you keep in touch with John Laurinaitis at all?
Yeah, I see him all the time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
People power?
People power.
People forget that, like, when you're not on TV, you still are employed by the company, like John Laurinaitis.
Right.
What's his role with the company?
I believe he's a producer.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Like a match producer?
I think so. Yeah. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. He's always there. No, I believe he is like a match producer. Yeah.
So, do you have any projects coming up that we might be seeing you in soon?
I always have stuff coming up. Not necessarily that I can talk about. But,
okay.
But yes, definitely. And I will be at Fastlane, WWE's Fastlane,
okay,
and WrestleMania, which is on my birthday.
Well, okay, I'll be at WrestleMania as well.
Oh, so you're coming to celebrate my birthday?
Sure. What are we doing? Probably something
whatever,
like the Madea poster.
Yeah, I like
Bring
that.
it right back
I
around.
like that. That was good. Yes, definitely something like that.
Mania's back here in New York too.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Maybe you could return back to the ring at WrestleMania.
Maybe, because I'm not retired. Well,
no, you're not retired.
Well, Wikipedia says I am, but can't anybody change that? Like, we could go on there right now and just.
Okay, so if Wikipedia says you're a retired wrestler, are you still your son's favorite wrestler?
I am.
Okay, who's your son's favorite active wrestler then?
That's a good one. I want to say Kalisto.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny story though. They asked me about the last match with R-Truth. My son was not happy. He took a swing at Truth after the match.
Your son did?
Yeah. So I dominated him the whole time. He rolled me up. Truth went over. Okay. My son lost it. He's crying. He's so upset. Truth gets out of the ring, walks by. My son's in the front row, takes a swing at him. We get in the back. Truth's like, hey man, he's like, your son took a swing at me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. My son wants to come backstage. I'm like, okay, cool. He comes backstage. And he's got tears in his eyes. He pulls me aside and he's like, just come here. What? He goes, Dad, tell me this. You let R-Truth win, didn't you? Like, why do you say that? And he's like, because you were beating him up. He's like, I know it. You let him win, didn't you? And I was like, I knew it. I knew it. Oh, he was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. Then he was okay. He's like, all right. Man, I knew it. It was hilarious, though, but yeah, it was great.
Since you haven't been in the ring in a while, when was the last time you put baby oil on?
Oh, I do that all the time.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm a bodybuilder now.
Yeah, but so is it what?
Classic physique.
Half a body? Half a bottle of baby oil?
The thing is, I now use cocoa butter.
Oh.
Yeah, shines a little bit better and more natural.
I always wonder with like the Irish whips or something how you weren't slipping out of someone's hand.
You were. I was actually for a while. The funny thing is like that kind of became my gimmick too. Was
right.
Just the baby oil, like an excessive amount, and if you notice, I wouldn't put it on my back.
Why not?
I'd put it on my front. Well, because my character was a body guy, and he was only interested in his front, like what he could see in the mirror. Who cares about your back? You can't see your back. Other people can see it. I can't see my back. I don't care what it was like. Although in real life, I do work my back a ton.
Well, of course.
However, my character just, he was only concerned with what you can see.
By the way, how do you not rip through these shirts? Like, see, look at that. This is unbelievable.
I may, actually. I have many of them. and sometimes they don't make it.
Yeah, they bust at the seams.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
same thing happens to me,
It's
too.
also my gimmick, those tight shirts, and how many buttons can I get away with going there unbuttoned?
That's only
This is
three.
conservative today.
And I appreciate that.
Okay, I thought you might, so, Now, if this was like the photo shoot from Madea, it just was button by button by button, then you know what? Take the whole thing off.
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you very much.
You're such an awesome dude.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Too.
David.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're still watching. Thanks for still watching this, and thanks for watching my chat with David Otunga. Couldn't be nicer, right? What a nice guy. As you can see, I am still here in New York City. This is the famous Madison Avenue behind me here. I'm in New York City for 2 hours today. Doing whatever I can to make these interviews happen. Flew up from Miami this morning, about a 3-hour flight from Miami, an hour Uber from Newark where I landed to Manhattan here. Did the interview, and in a few minutes we'll be heading right back to Miami. But David Otunga couldn't have been nicer. What a great guy, and a big congrats to him on everything that he's accomplished in his career so far. I mean, a movie with Halle Berry and a movie starring Tyler Perry and directed by Tyler Perry, and he's just getting started, people. So congrats to him, and I'm so glad we could make this happen. It was actually Tyler Perry himself that made this interview happen. I interviewed Tyler last week for my job. If you didn't know, I host a TV show in Miami called Deco Drive. I was in Miami last week and mentioned to Tyler Perry how cool it was during our interview that he had David Otunga in his film. And I've got this little YouTube channel that a couple of people watch every once in a while. And it'd be awesome to be able to have David Otunga on to talk a little bit of wrestling and to talk about Madea, A Family Funeral, which is in theaters, by the way, on March 1st. So it was Tyler that actually connected everything, made it happen, got me in the same room with David, and well, you just saw the rest there. So thanks for checking this out. It is cold here. I mean, I'm from Canada, so it's like I can't really complain about the cold, but it was 80 degrees this morning and not windy, and now it's super windy here and a little chilly. I should probably get inside before my ears fall off. Yeah, good call.